In this video, we're going to be exploring how to create instances of our objects inside of Modo. As you can see in my 3D scene, I have this awesome model of a rhinoceros, but I want to have a couple of them. I want to make a small little herd of rhinoceros, or is it rhinoceri? Anyways, so I want to have a whole bunch of them, but if this is a pretty high resolution model, there are a lot of polygons. If I had just done, a traditional clone, or if I had copied and pasted all of these polygons, I would have millions of polygons in my scene. Thus enter the instance. Instances are not as processor demanding as true 3D clones. Let's start off by making an instance. Let's go over to our duplication tab, and on the surface it looks like there really isn't any instances. Oh, there it is right there. But all of the instance commands inside the duplication menu are going to be buried in the submenu. So if you don't see yours, just left click on the little dark arrow and you're going to get a couple options. You're going to get the clone, instance clone, replica clones. We'll talk about how those are different later. But we're going to be doing instance clones, okay? Now, the tool properties for an instance clone are identical. Up here at the top, these are the same tool properties that we're used to seeing with a traditional clone. It's the exact same thing. So let's go ahead and add a couple rhinoceri. Now I've left clicked in my viewport to apply the tool, and you can see that my my rhinoceros is now pink. Well, it's not really pink until we move it out. There it is. There we go. Once we give a little translation along the x-axis, you can start to see the clones. So here's the original, and the two pink wireframes represent the instanced clones. If we examine our item list, you can see that we have two new items that have shown up, Original 2 and Original 3. They have these little pink cubes next to them, denoting that they're instances. Pink wireframes, pink cubes, these are instances. This is how Modo tells us that these are copies. Now, the great thing about an instance is that it is very quick to render. Since we're not copying all the polygons, they're very fast to render. So if I wanted 200 rhinoceros in my herd, I would choose to use an instance because it's not going to take me as long to render all 200 of them. Before we drop the tool, there's one additional thing that I want to show you. The top of the tool property over here on the left hand, this is the same clone effector that we're used to seeing, but this portion of the tool properties is specific to the instance, okay? Right now, the parent is set to root. If we change it to hierarchy, look what happens over in our item list. We have the original mesh item up at the top, but it has placed Original 2 and Original 3 in a parent-child relationship. So Original 3 has been parented to 2, and Original 2 has been parented to the original mesh item. So this is the type of visual hierarchy that you're going to receive when the parent hierarchy over here, the tool property, is set to hierarchy. Now, if we change it to root, let me drop the tool and hit undo because I don't think it likes it when I try to change the hierarchy midway through. Okay, so here we go. Root. Oops. Let me hit undo 2 more times there, and let's reapply the tool. My bad. Sorry. It looks like it's not liking. It doesn't like it when I try to change the hierarchy of my clones when I'm trying to record it. Okay, so the parent mode is now set to root, and look what happens. Instead of parenting 2 and 3 together, they've just taken both 2 and 3 and they parented to the original. So it's going to place all of the instance clones underneath the original. And this is how I usually like to work personally, just a little bit easier for me to see. I don't have to dig through, a whole series of parent-child relationships, a whole visual hierarchy. This is really helpful if we had 40 of these. There we go. Now I have 40 rhinoceri. Here's my herd. There it is. And you can see over in the item list that they're all just listed and parented to the original mesh item. Okay. So I don't want 40. Let's put it back down to 3. There we go. And we're going to. Now I have 3. There we go. We're gonna drop the tool, and I'm going to show you the magic of an instance. So the instancing tools, making an instance, we use the exact same tools in the process and the workflow that we're used to using the traditional clone tools or radial arrays. It's the exact same thing. But here's where it's different. Since these instances are not true three-dimensional objects in the sense that I can't go in here and edit them, notice that I'm in my polygonal selection set. I can't select any of these polygons on my instance. Okay, they're just it's just a wireframe outline. Okay, But all of these instances are referencing back to the original shape. So any sort of change that I make to the original rhinoceros is going to get changed on the instances as well, okay? So let me show you what I'm talking about. Maybe I want to have the horn of my original rhinoceros be just a little bit bigger. So I'm just going to select some polygons here. And since I'm changing the polygons on the original rhinoceros, all the instances are going to get immediately updated. And let's see here. I'm going to go to my deform tools, and we're just going to bend it. We're going to bend this rhinoceros back, or this horn back a little bit. Now watch what happens. You can just barely see the other horns in the background of the instances. I make any sort of change to the original, all of the instances are immediately updated. Now, this is a great way to work, especially when you have a lot of objects in your scene that are exactly the same. Making them all instances, just reduces the amount of editing that you have to do when you need to make a change. So that's pretty cool. We can also go back in. Let's make some pretty sweeping changes now. Let's I don't know. We'll take the side here and we'll just move it out some. There you go. And you can see those changes are immediately reflected in the instances as well. So if we drop the tool, we can click on the instances to see their wireframe flat shaded, or smooth shaded. Looking pretty good. Kind of big hump on the side, but other than that, our rhinoceros look like they're pretty healthy. I like them. My little rhinoceros herd there, and they're made using instances. They reference back to the original shape, and they're a whole lot faster to render. So look forward to using instances in your own workflow.